And there, I think honestly, on some level of consciousness, there's a mutual understanding of what an alpha is and what an alpha is not, and it's a cross cultural thing that comes from sort of an evolved understanding of what that is.
So I don't want to take up too much time, but just to kind of like bring home at least my understanding of it, I actually what attracted me to these spaces was that, well, actually, I was attracted first to the incel space, which then led me to the red pill space. So
Hey,
incels co who was in here, I call him
what does
Octavius.
the
Um,
incel space look like to you? I'm just curious.
Oh, oh, to me, it looks like one of the last bastions of free speech. I don't know.
Really?
It's just
So I
disenfranchised,
don't.
angry
I'm,
men,
I'm not being. I'm not being.
who have an
I'm not
opinion.
being sarcastic. I don't really understand the intel space. Me and my friends who make content like this, we all fuck hot women. So we don't really understand the intel. I'm not trying to be crass. I'm just saying, like, all
Okay.
the guys that I know that are in this space, we're all fucking. So I'm confused when people are like the incel, like, because that's what I'm hearing Mooncat say, that this is an incel space. But I'm like, name any of them, any of the guys in the space, and they're fucking women. So I'm a little confused by that term. I know that's not how you meant
Uh,
it. I'm just trying to understand.
well, yeah, I mean, because incel can also be used as a social castration term, which just is a disparagement of any man who just seems like, that gives them the ick or whatever, right? But
Correct. Yeah. So
for the for
that's
the ins
so that. But my point is that's the only way it's used. I don't know anyone who calls themselves an incel. That's the only way it's used. When Mooncat sits there and like shows images of Access Vegas and Fresh and Fit and says incel podcasts, that doesn't make any sense. We're not incels. So I'm truly trying to understand how that would mean that we are involuntarily or celibate, and we're neither. And I don't understand this concept. It's just one of these things. It's like I'm going to call you a
correct.
bad name because I don't like you, but it doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense because
it's
that's not the thing that we're doing.
right. It just seems that way from the
It
outset
doesn't seem that no,
because
no. But the thing
there
is,
are
it doesn't seem that way. There's no reality where it looks like I don't have any work that I don't do well with women. There's no reality where it looks like Myron doesn't do well with women. There's no reality where it doesn't look like Rollo, who has a child, who's just graduated from college and has got married, is never had sex. There is no outside looking in. The word is like it's not even a bad pejorative. It's a complete fucking misnomer. Does that make sense?
it it's more so that biological reality is about women feel like personal attacks if you're not really up to the
Sure.
challenge of
And so
understanding what they
use the
mean.
insult of incels. But my point is,
Right.
most of my guy friends who have this viewpoint are the guys that I know that fuck the most women. That's what's so confusing to me. Does anybody else anybody else understand where I'm coming from here? Like the guys
yeah,
who
yeah,
feel
yeah.
this way are
Let me
doing the
just
most
jump in
fucking.
here real fast. Let me just
Yeah.
jump in here because I don't
Go
have
ahead.
as
Go
much
ahead.
time because I got to do another show here. But I'm just gonna. So the reason why they do that is because women understand that character assassination is their only real play when it comes to attacking somebody because they understand that when you character assassinate another female, that hurts her ability to procreate with higher status men. Just call her slut, etc. That's why when women hate each other, the first thing they call each other is a slur, right, or a whore, something like that. That
Disqualifier.
decreases dequalify her for the highest status man. That's number one, right? So that's why they do that all the time with incels, even though it's incorrect. But that's the typical female fighting strategy, is to assassinate character. Number two, as far as this whole mental point of origin, etc., the fact that we have to tell young men to focus on themselves proves the point that men are not necessarily naturally selfish like women are. Women are designed to extract resources while men are designed to create excess resources. And the fact that we have to tell young men all the time to, hey, focus on yourself, don't focus on your girl. When you make her girl the priority, you're going to lose, is because when women are in leadership roles or they're in a position of importance or a position of power, especially over their male counterpart, what ends up happening is they see that man as lesser than them. When they see that man lesser than them, attraction drops off precipitously. When attraction drops off precipitously, they start to look after other men, and then they break off with that guy eventually. This is why I tell guys you need to almost run your relationship and your girl with an iron fist. What do I mean by this? Not by violence, but by being the top guy, by doing what's best for you only, because what's best for you is going to inherently benefit her, because again, she's a woman, so she's an extractor of benefit. Okay. And then you need to do everything to be the leader, and you also need to keep your sexual market value up. It's not just about killing it in the boardroom and making a bunch of money and making decisions that benefit you, which inherently benefit her. It's also about maintaining your sexual market value and staying fit, staying in shape, and having other women desire you. And if you want to go ahead and have other women, I think that's even better. Why? Because women only get in line when you have other women in line. And if I say this, right, on public media or whatever, oh my God, you're a misogynist, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is that women love men like me that can tell them, shut the fuck up, you're stupid. We're going to do what I say. And though they might get mad and call me a misogynist, women love misogynists because we understand that we are inherently different. I understand that women are inferior to me in almost every fucking metric of human specificity. Okay? So I understand since women are inferior to me most of the time in most things that actually matter in the world, I'm going to be the leader and I'm responsible. I'm not going to put her in a position of combat. I'm not going to put her in a position of protection. I'm not going to put her in a position where she has to provision for me. That's my fucking job. I take care of her, not the other way around. And men that understand this naturally are more attractive to women because they understand their position and they understand the woman's position most importantly. I don't look at women as equals. You guys are inferior in almost every degree. Not to be an asshole, but that's just a biological reality. If you don't believe me, look at the Olympics right now with this woman that they think might be a man. She's fucking up every bitch that she fights. Why? Because women just suck at most things, unfortunately. And before a feminist comes forward to me and says, well, you need a woman to create life. Bitch, I got to give you the sperm to create the life. It's a two-part process, okay? So with that said, I think men need to understand that it is their duty to not only be the leader and protect and provide for their woman, but they also need to understand that they need to be selfish in their career goals and understand that by you being selfish and putting yourself first, your woman is inherently going to benefit because we have the burden of performance on us to provide excess resources for women. Women don't have a burden of performance to provide excess resources for us. This is why when women out earn their man, a lot of the times they break up with him or they have affairs. That's what ends up happening when women are in leadership roles. And another thing I want to say as well, which is why I don't like when women are in leadership roles, is because they're communitarian by nature. Since women are extractors of value, right? They understand that for them to get survivability, they need to be communitarian by nature. That means you get a dollar, you get a dollar, you get a dollar, etc. When men are in leadership roles, right? Me and Rollo have talked about this a lot of the times. We understand meritocracy. We understand the best guy gets paid the most, and then the second best guy gets paid after that, etc. Men do a lot better with hierarchies and understanding winners and losers. Women, however, don't. This is why we live in this participation trophy society. As feminism has gotten stronger, what's happened? We've had a participation trophy type epidemic where we say everyone's a winner, everybody deserves something. No, they fucking don't, because that's not how life works. We operate on meritocracy. This is why I'm a big proponent of women not being in the military, not being in law enforcement, etc. Because these are life and death scenarios where equality can absolutely limit your ability to do your job effectively, which might spell the death of another individual. If a woman can't drag a 200-pound guy, right, because we lowered the standard to let her go ahead and get into the military, get into the police force, you've effectively weakened that entire force for equality, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Fuck your feelings. Fuck equality. I think there needs to be one standard. If women can rise to it, fantastic. They deserve the job. But we're not going to dilute our standards, which inherently dilutes the quality of the force for equality. That's my fucking problem. That's why men need to be leaders. That's why men need to run shit. And that's how it goes. And for any of the women that are mad, well, cry more.
Mic drop.
There you go.